Hi, imagine yourself driving to an unknown place and somewhere in the middle of the road you are stuck because you cannot find the way forward. You do not know which turn to take. It's a left turn, a right turn, or you got to move straight. And then suddenly you realize that you have a GPS system along with you. And in that Google Maps, you pressed in the destination and where you are right now. It shows up which turn to take. That's how a sales is connected. That's how a sales pitch acts as a direction for a customer to have an information about an unknown product and an unknown journey of taking a decision to change something that's existing or go for something new. Well, my name is Prince Grover. I'm an international motivational speaker and a business coach, plus I'm a high performance sales coach. So when we look at this aspect of sales, I need to understand and make you aware that 80% of the decisions are emotional decisions in sales. Why? Because 20% is the logic which we generate only to justify the emotion that plays in our mind for taking a decision. Think of a new car. If you are buying a new car, you go to the showroom and you see that there are some cars that are out of your budget, but you go for a test drive. And the moment you go for a test drive, you cannot forget the comfort it gives you. And when you come back, you drive a car which comes into your budget. And when you drive it, you somehow compare to an emotional comfort that you experienced in the previous car. And you normally now think about, how can I extend my budget? Should I go for a loan? Should I go for a finance? Should I go and beg, borrow, steal, whatever? But you plan up your mind first and then you look for the options. So emotions have a very strong connect in the decision making of a new buying product or a service. So now let's come back and get down to the structure of the sales pitch. That's what we are here for. Now the structure of the sales pitch is very, very simple. However, it needs a strong emotional connect. When I say emotional connect, it means the product needs to have a strong connection with your conviction, and the product needs to have a strong emotional connect with the customer's life cycle. Without these two connects, it's very difficult for anybody to deliver an amazing sales pitch. I've already explained in my previous video why do we need a sales pitch. Now let's understand a framework. And the framework I have utilized is pitch. So there is a P, there is a I, there is a T, there is a C, and there is a H. So P stands for Personalized Customer Benefits. When I say personalized customer benefits, it includes how your product is going to step into a customer's life and change its overall experience of living. Now, take an example. If I am a customer, I would always have my life separated into 8 zones. The first is, let's say, health. Then there is relationship. Then there is family, finance, social awareness, social contribution, spiritual development, personal development, career. There can be n number of these zones into which I live my life. So if I am positioning a product, let's first understand what aspect of his life will get impacted. Example, if I look for an ERP solution, let's say I'm an ERP solution seller, when I go back to the customer's office, I would rather try to understand what are few pain areas, how much time does he utilizes in doing the manual work, and how much time a ERP solution can save and give a much more productive hours to the customer's organization. And with this productive hours, ask him what are few ambitions or goals that he has been planning, but the employees as well as him is not able to devote some time. And that's when he would come up with the real connection. Why? Because understand, the moment I use the word personalized, it clearly means it's all about a customer's life. Hear me out again. It's all about customer's life. Then it is no more about you. Half of the world is pitching while explaining their product, their services, their benefits, their features. Nobody cares. People care about how those features are valuable to their life and how they can experience something new that can benefit and take them to the next level. Okay, so moving on to the next part, which is I. Now I basically stands for a strong information that you would gather from the research that you have conducted. It can be a competitive analysis, it can be a research based on some readings, from facts, from journals, from research articles. Let's say if I am into an IT solutions where I'm helping industries to get automated or provide automations, then I would read about from the past 7 months how many companies have actually opted for automation. What has been the saving working hours from automation? How a company can scale up with the help of automation. How many companies actually could not sustain because of not having automation into their systems and completely dependent upon man hours than the automation aspect of the company, which would not only help increase productivity but also save time, energy and money for the organization. Now let's look at how does a company looks like when it follows automation. So, when you talk about such data, when you talk about how many companies opted for it, when you talk about where all do you supply these services and how the growth has happened to such companies, that is the time your facts and data, would help customer to realize, to feel his company's presence and connection to automation. So next is, when I say PI and then there is T. So remember the T stands for take it to their dreams, goals and ambitions, which clearly means if I'm using data and if I'm using benefits, if I'm connecting the benefits to the customer's life, it clearly means I am already connecting the customer's goals with my product. I have to connect customers' ambitions to my product. But how would you do that? So in this case, you got to ask the customers for the vision that they carry for the organization, the personalized vision or the ambition they carry for their own lives. Maybe they would have all these 8 areas, and I'm sure they would have some goals into either relationships, some goals either into family. Let's say if I'm into the real estate and if I'm constructing colonies for the customer, for the community living, I would rather say, sir, one thing you would be least worried about is the safety and security of your family while you are doing your business outside with full confidence and full relaxation. It can put you stress free. Your kids can still go out and play and still stay safe because of the security systems designed with the presence of security guard, with the community there to help people in each other's problems or difficulties. So when I go from this angle, it creates a different impression because maybe he is a little insecure about traveling and has few ambitions or goals related to traveling and expanding his business, but he's not doing it concerning the safety and possibly the kids, not being safe in his presence during his traveling time. So think from that angle, and that is when we are doing the T, where we are trying to connect the customer with his goal, ambitions and aspirations. Next is C. When I look at C basically stands for the change that you want to bring to customers' life. And now when I say change, have a story around change. Hear me out again. Have a story around change. There is a story, and the story sells more than anything else. I'm sure if you are in the business of sales, you have your own success stories. Remember those stories. How your presence in one person's or customer's life has changed his life to a very different aspect. And then you follow a format for story. Now the story always has few components which I am giving in very short but would explain it in my next video in absolute details. Now a story would always have a situation, would have a character, would have a problem, would have a solution, and at the end would have a benefit or an experience which is much larger than the problem. So understand, if you're getting into customer's life, try to know what are 1 or 2 challenges he would like to solve because he is looking for a product, let's say, or with the existing product, or with the existing house, locality, community, what are few challenges he feels? It can again be related to all those 8 to 9 areas that I mentioned. And then you pick up one challenge, connect it to one of the customers whom you have solved this particular challenge, and mention starting by saying, absolutely, sir, I truly respect your problem and struggle, but guess what? This is something that I just handled 2 months back when a customer had similar objection and was into a similar situation. What we did to them was we offered this, we offered that, and and that's how the things and the situations have changed today. And trust me, I can show you his video right away, how he feels about his life right now. So mention that testimonial through a story. And remember, a story without an emotion is absolute nothing, because we remember emotions more than the story content. Remember the emotion. That customer is going to connect with the emotion only if you follow the last step. And the last step is H. And the H stands for help them to visualize. Correct. Help them to visualize. And the visualization is only about when he takes your product, how his life would look like. So explain the details of his business, explain what he would be shifting to, a new building, a new office, a new area, a new property with the new dimensions, with the new market, with the new brand, whatever the case may be. But help him realize and help him visualize. Trust me, when you get the description in details, so let me ask you one small question. Imagine a white elephant approaching you. It's a huge in size, but the eyes are so wonderful, full of emotions, that you can look at the elephant and see that the elephant is approaching you for help. And you can sense that into his eyes, and you can see his trunk moving towards you. And guess what? He approaches you and sits down right in front of you, seeking help. Now, when I'm describing this, I'm sure there is an elephant in your head right now, and that's white in color. The eyes have its own emotion that you have imagined, and the posture of sitting is exactly like you would have imagined. Yeah, that's the power of a story. So when you explain a customer situation, sir, I have seen people moving from rent to a personalized accommodation, owning the house, and becoming the proud owner. Wherein the rent that you had to give it to the bank is today going into an EMI, and still the house remains his possession. You got to see the happiness that his eyes carry, and I just have a small video wherein he carries the feedback of his own life after he got associated with us. Play it, make him visualize, make him think, and as descriptive you can be as descriptive, and the pattern that I've mentioned about the situation and the other things and how the benefits needs to close, and that is when he would sense and feel your story, and that's when he would like to take a decision. So before you actually get into the sales pitch, my dear friends, please answer this one question in one line. What is it that you want the customer to think, believe, and do? Once again, what is it that you want the customer to think, believe, and do? Maybe I want to think that the customer must think after meeting me that I'm the right person he's talking to, and I can only change his game of life. Or I meet a customer and I want him to think about me as the most confident and reliable person he has ever come across. I want to meet a customer and I want him to think that I am the only solution he has ever been looking for. I want to meet a customer and I want him to think or do, I want him to buy, I want him to endorse, I want him to get into an association, I want him to hire me, I want him to put my ideas into practice, I want him to follow me. It can be any number of things, but unless you have one statement, what do you want your customer to do? To buy a product, to hire you, to get impressed? That's how you need to first clarify. And after that, look at your sales now. I'm telling you, before you get into your sales pitch, get this objective clear. What do I want before I walk into this meeting? Why am I even heading for this meeting? And what is it that I truly wanting that I want him to think or do? That is what you need to instill in your mind first, and that's when you walk up to him, it's reflecting in your conversation. Once again, it's reflecting and radiating in your conversation. And that is when his decision making gets easier, because when it radiates, when your belief radiates, it creates another source. And when it creates another source, it would make him take a decision. So my dear friends, if you find this video helpful, do like, subscribe and share. And don't forget to watch my previous video which I've made on sales pitch. That is why we need a sales pitch, and that's what I have explained the importance. Find that in the comment section. Once again, let me just repeat it for you. Pitch is the new format for you now. So P stands for personalized connection. Then I stands for wherein I get the information from the market research and do my homework appropriately, so that I present some data, facts, figures that are truly connected to the need of my product, how the customers have been responding to it. And the next is PIT. So T stands for time to talk about customers' aim, ambitions, goals and aspirations. Next is C. C stands for again change stories, which means change customer stories. What kind of changes the customers have been through with your product. And next is H, and that you only can do it, which is help customer to visualize if you are following the format of the story. So with this, thank you very much for watching, learning, and do type in comments if you're facing any struggles even while using this pitch. However, do not follow it as a script. Make it such a wonderful creation and a piece of masterpiece that he would have never imagined. You know why? Because sales is magic. So let's create magic together. Thank you very much and have a wonderful pitchful day ahead. Prepare your pitch, and I would be really happy if you can explain your pitch in one of the videos and tag me somewhere. I am always available with the name of Enabler Prince Grover. I'll be happy to be connected with the Facebook and see your success story. Thank you.